I want to quickly talk to you about CapFront. And the big question is if you're looking for a business line of credit, or working capital loan, or any kind of business loan, should you go to CapFront this year? Is it really worth it? Okay. So let me first define for you what CapFront really is, okay, what they do, and how they do the stuff that they do, okay. So CapFront actually remains an online business lending marketplace. So with CapFront, you don't have a direct lender. Okay, they're not going to fund you directly. They're not going to fund your business directly. It is more like it is a marketplace that has tens of lenders that actually participate in bidding over your loan application. Okay, so they offer multiple funding options for small to medium-sized businesses. So if you're a large enterprise, you don't want to go to CapFront. Okay, so you can go to what I call dedicated conduits like investment banks or whatever. But CapFront really will finance you up to a certain amount. Okay, and this marketplace is a network of business lenders, includes fast funding options with same day funding sometimes possible. So you can be funded within 24 hours if you have the right paperwork. Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that basically, when you are, I mean, they actually started in 2017, so they haven't been around for a while now. I mean, but again, in the last nearly 10 years, they were able to actually bring to market millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of transactions. Okay, so business loans been closed, and the company is actually based in Garden City, New York. Okay, and they have another office in Manhattan. So they're pretty close to Wall Street, and they actually try to sort of bridge Wall Street with Main Street. Okay, but they've been around since 2017, like I said before. But where they really excel at is that they were able to accompany you. They really were able to help you all along. Okay, from paperwork preparation all the way to underwriting and closing. So this is not just a loan marketplace that just lets you apply and then leave you alone. No, they really are there to kind of help you out. So if you think about CapFront, you want to know more how the company works. Okay, it is a marketplace. I've already said that, but they work in a very specific way. One thing for sure, you don't have to pay anything. Okay, the lenders that actually work with CapFront are paying CapFront. They're paying the company. So the service is free for you. Okay, signing up for the service is free. Applying for a loan through CapFront is free. Okay, basically, what happens here is that once you sign up, an account manager will help you review the options and select the most advantageous loan option for your business needs. Okay. So when I speak about the funding options, you have SBA loans, you have equipment financing, you have term loan working capital, you have term loan expansion loans, you have lines of credit, you have merchant cash advance, and you have invoice factoring, among others. Okay. So when you think about, let me quickly go through those products here. So when I say SBA loans, we are looking at a maximum of $2 million with terms 5 years. For equipment financing, you're looking at a maximum loan amount of $80 million. This is totally normal because when it comes to equipment financing, you're speaking about a collateralized loan by definition. Okay. And the repayment window goes from 1 year to 6 years. And for a term loan working capital, we have $2 million. And for term loan expansion loans, we are looking at $500,000. So, but in any case, working capital gives you more money, but you have to repay it within a shorter period because the maximum lenders give you on CapFront to repay a working capital loan is 36 months. That's the maximum. Whereas for expansion loans, the maximum is 10 years. Okay, and you are getting less amount of money, but you have more time to pay it. So What about line of credit? Line of credit, the amount is actually considerably lower. So you're getting $250,000, and that you have to repay within 36 months maximum. What about merchant cash advance? Well, merchant cash advance, we're looking at $5 million. That's the maximum. The reason why it's higher is because a merchant cash advance is, by definition, a revenue-based financing program. So revenue-based financing program means that, hey, listen, you're collateralizing your accounts receivable. Kind of similar to invoice factoring, by the way. So that's why the amounts are higher. So let me talk to you about the qualifications for CapFront. So if you go to CapFront, the lending marketplace, what kind of qualifications should you have? Well, so qualifications vary depending on the loan amount. I mean, not the loan amount, the loan program that you actually want to sign up for. So for instance, when you go to SBA loans, you basically you need to have a credit score that oscillates from 600 to 750. And you got to be 2 to 3 years in business. Okay, so if you're a startup, you can't qualify for an SBA loan, and you got to also have high annual revenue, so at least 7 digits. For equipment financing, credit score is 600, minimum time in business 2 years, and revenue 10K a month. So we're looking at 100K a year at least, 120K a year at least. For a term loan working capital, basically you got to really talk to the specific lender that actually that wants you underwrite your loan, okay? Because every lender has their own condition, their own requirements. Same thing for term loan for expansion, okay? For a line of credit, the credit score minimum is around 550 to 560. Time in business, 6 months, okay? And revenue actually fluctuates. The revenue requirements fluctuates depending on the business, depending on the lender. What about merchant cash advance and invoice factoring? This also depends on the lender, but here the terms are way more flexible because, like I told you a little earlier, we are speaking about revenue-based financing. Okay, so anytime you have merchant cash advance or invoice factoring, you have, I would say, funding that sort of that actually depends upon your accounts receivable or your sales. Okay, so it's up to you to really talk to the lender to see to hear more about their conditions. So how do you apply to a CapFront? Let's say you're listening to me right now and you just want to, get funded on a specific loan program. And so how do you apply? So first thing you want to do here is that you want to go to their website, okay? And if you go to the website, you go to, you will see a sign there's a blue sign that says apply now. And once you click on it, they'll ask you, they'll present you with a short survey. So they will ask you to provide some basic information about yourself and your business. That includes stating how much funding you need and when you need it. Okay. They'll ask you for your EIN if you have one. So EIN, your employer identification number. And so some basic info like your address, your company's address, all that kind of stuff. And you will upload or email your 3 most recent business bank statements and connect with one of the company's dedicated relationship managers. So once you actually send the preliminary paperwork, they will assign you with the relationship manager, and then you can talk to that person. Okay, you can talk to her or him about your needs, and then you may need to send any additional document the manager requests, right? So, for example, you must include the vendor invoice for equipment financing. So you can see that every loan program has specific requirements, right? So this is something you need to discuss with your relationship manager. And that's it. Once you actually talk to the relationship manager, You could receive actually multiple funding offers from the marketplace's lender network within a few hours of applying, and your relationship manager will review your offers to help you select the most cost-effective option. Okay, so this is pretty good, and finally, you get funded. I mean, once you select an option, the process moves to the funding stage. So depending on the loan type, you can receive your funds in your business bank account the same day you get approved, right? So this is something that you need to think about. Things can go really fast. So the repayment process depends on the type of loan you receive, okay? Because SBA loans are fully amortized and carry fixed monthly payments. Equipment financing also comes with fixed monthly payments. You will typically have a lower interest rate because those loans are collateralized with the financed equipment, right? In addition, you could qualify for a Section 179 deduction. So this is really good, giving your business a tax break. And working capital loans have daily, weekly, or monthly payment options. Same thing for expansion term loans, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that the payment frequency you receive is likely dependent on your creditworthiness, the loan amounts, but also the term length. Lines of credit are like the repayment window actually varies, and same thing for invoice factoring. So, what are the advantages of CapFront here? If you think about CapFront, what I want to say is that CapFront provides fast funding options with low approval requirements, right? You do not want to, so you have a streamlined loan application process. So instead of you actually opening 10 different windows, like browser windows, and actually applying with 10 different lenders, or 20 or 50, just apply with the one loan marketplace and you receive offers right away, okay? So what happens here is that CapFront offers a diverse range of business funding options to meet your needs. So this is really good, and the application process is quick and straightforward, and you get a dedicated relationship manager to actually guide you through the process. And CapFront also provides a dual track option to provide bridge funding while waiting for more beneficial long-term financing. The company also provides actually a client education with a focus on sustainable funding. For them, this is really important, sustainable funding, okay? Something to really keep in mind as you actually expand your business. So what are the drawbacks of CapFront here? Well, you have the cost. That's the primary one, okay? Primary drawback. So while CapFront aims to reduce the cost compared to predatory lenders, right, in this industry, all alternative business funding with quick application, easy approval, and fast funding carries a higher rate than traditional business financing. Okay, so this is one of those things where you have to really understand that it's all about accessibility. Okay, and also accountability. Your ability to replicate what CapFront does. And another thing you need to understand here is that CapFront is relatively young, right? So they've been around since 2017. Some people might say, well, this is too young, but hey, listen, it is what it is. And also, CapFront sometimes is not transparent in terms of its cost. What about the pros and cons of this company here? So I'm gonna first talk to you about the pros. So the cool thing is that because it is a lending marketplace, if you go with CapFront, you have multiple funding options. Okay, because multiple lenders means multiple funding options, and you also have a very streamlined application, which really creates quick and easy loan applications. You have fast funding times. It's totally possible for you to get funded within 24 hours. If everything is happening in how do I say it, in this time, when you have fast funding times, in this economy, this could really be a wonderful opportunity. You also have a dedicated relationship manager who are really there to help you out, okay? Making sure you get funded real fast, you get your money real fast. And you have a unique dual track funding program, and you have a provider that gives you like CapFront is a provider of client education, and what they do is they actually focus on sustainable funding. That's a small list of all the advantages you can have with a CapFront. What about the disadvantages? Well, alternative funding is more expensive than traditional business financing. Here, CapFront lacks some information on interest rates and fees. It doesn't provide concrete qualification for certain products, so you could actually end up applying at several places. And the last thing is that if you're thinking about CapFront, you have a lending marketplace that is less prestigious than, say, a Lendio or National Business Capital. Those have been around for years, okay? And CapFront has only been here since 2017. So, do I recommend CapFront to you? Yes, of course. CapFront is definitely legit. CapFront is definitely an interesting company that is worth it. Yes, okay. It is a legit alternative business lending marketplace. It has triple B, okay, and has almost A plus, okay, on their Washington site, on the CapFront Washington site. So in terms of you need to understand that the CapFront is totally increasing or improving its service, okay? In terms of ease of process, fast funding times, excellent customer service, they're trying to really win big in those departments. So that's kind of cool, okay? And you also need to understand that when it comes to a CapFront, you always have the possibility to be denied, right? If you get denied for a business loan, you can go for a business term loan. You can go for business lines of credit, SBA loans, equipment financing. You can go for a lot of stuff. It really depends on what really what kind of needs you have. Okay, like you can have working capital loans, bad credit business loans, or other stuff. So bottom line is, don't forget that CapFront is best suited for those who can't really for those businesses that really need to have support, that really need to feel some kind of love around. So that's really good. So the closing chapter in today's conversation, I spoke to you about CapFront. This was a review. I explained what CapFront really is, what they do, and the different types of business loans, the qualifications to receive or something from CapFront. And thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.